Well, good morning. Welcome back to another video. This morning we have traveled north from northern Kentucky to the town of Waterville, Ohio, here along the Maumee River to take an image of a bridge that was built in 1908. And at one time, when it was built, it was the longest concrete and earth structure in the world. So what is it? It's the interurban railroad bridge, in my hometown. And believe it or not, until this morning, I never photographed this before. Very first time. So here, let me turn around so you can see what I'm looking at. All right, so obviously it's no longer in use, and it's collapsing and overgrown, and certainly nothing like it was back in 1908. But still, beautiful structure. Something I should have done when I was much younger, but just never did. So this morning, without a tripod, here early morning, well, the sun coming up, we're going to take my camera. We're going to try to capture an image of this. So see what we can do here. See what turns out. So thanks for coming along. All right. So how am I photographing this morning? What I'm doing is I'm using manual, right around f8. But I've done a couple different things. I have shot focus stack. All right, so I've done that. Also shooting a handheld high-res shot, and then just normal. All right, taking a few shots that way, all from this one location. Now I'd love to take, from a different spot, but from when I was a kid, this place is all overgrown. You can't get around anywhere near where you used to. Here, if you look around, you can see. All right. There's a park back up the river a little bit, which is where I went originally. All right, because I was going to photograph from there, but the park was closed. They had the gates closed. And here you can look up the river, too. Actually, this would be down. No, this is, up the river towards Fort Wayne. All right. Matter of fact, I may capture an image of that just because I like the light on the clouds, but when I was a kid, we used to play on this. All right, I don't know exactly what year it was taken out of service, but I used to play on this when I was a kid. We used to walk, across the bridge, actually get up on it. You could actually crawl across or walk across some steel girders, and get onto that and go all the way across it. And I used to do that. We also used to play on the rock there in the middle of the river, which the bridge is actually built into. All right, so if you see that, there's a name for that. It's called Roche de Boeuf, and there's actually a festival that they have every year here in town, to celebrate that rock. All right, and the importance of that rock, which really today, if you wanted to build a bridge like this, you wouldn't be able to do it because that is a historic, Indian council meeting ground, right in the middle of the river. So Indians on either side could, send their, chiefs across, and they would meet there on that rock. All right, but when I was a kid, I used to wade in this river. I used to play on that bridge and go out on that rock. Many years ago. But it has definitely changed quite a bit. I mean, just the condition of the bridge is terrible today. When I was a kid, there were no trees or anything on it, and it wasn't, falling apart like it looks like today. It looked pretty much like the day it was built. So anyway, we're gonna finish up here. All right, and we're going to move a little bit for another location here. But again, any images I've captured this morning, if I capture something that looked good, I'll put it in right here for you to see. All right, so this location, we're right in the middle of town. All right, right here right next to the street. Pretty important. Actually, pretty important to this town. And what you'll see here as I turn this camera around. All right, this is the Columbian House, built in 1828. It's one of the first structures here in town. All right, trading posts and things back in the early days. Hotel, as you see, at one time. Been a restaurant, been several different things. I don't even believe today it's used for anything other than just It's starting to fall apart. You know, so why is it important? You know, it's kind of hard to tell today because things have changed since I was a kid. But over here, where there's construction and there's a little park, used to be Waterville Elementary School, which is where I went to school when I was a kid, grades kindergarten through 4. All right, used to go to school here, play out back, basically back by the river. You know, that's where the playground was. You know, and then over here, this direction, you can kind of see the sun coming up over there. This little vacant lot you see here, and this parking lot wasn't here, but this was all a vacant lot, and we would play kickball over here. You know, when I was a kid, I still remember all those days. To be honest, hard to believe, as long ago as it was. You know, so as you look across the street at the Columbian House, you see there's a stop sign. Well, there used to be a stoplight here, all right, because this was a busy intersection with obviously an elementary school. So when I was in 4th grade, I would stand on that corner, and I was the crossing guard to help kids across the street to get into the school, because most of us walked. You know, I lived up on the hill from here, you know, across Route 24, you know, and I had to walk to school every day. Snow, rain, didn't matter. Yes, that's true. Was it uphill both ways? No, but it was one way. That's for sure. You know, so many years ago, I took a picture here of the Columbian House with my Nikon D700, all right? You know, at night, I took it at night, you know, with a full moon, early on in my digital photography career, you know, and I've always liked that picture. I have it on my website, you know, and I will, you know, I'll put it in here so you can see it. All right, so now what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to try to take a picture of the Columbian House. You know this will be during the day, or you know, in the morning as opposed to at night, but just want to capture it a little differently with a different camera, you know, see how it turns out. Now, important thing about the Columbian House, you know, if you remember a few years ago, there was a lot, it still really is, a lot of stuff about paranormal. People are really into ghosts and things like that. Well, way back even in the 70s, this place was considered a haunted location, and there was a lot of paranormal investigations that were done here. You know, and on the 2nd and 3rd floor, you know, they say there are ghosts that walk around the old dance hall, you know, as well as the rooms and things were there. You know, I didn't know that when I was a kid, all right, standing on the corner there right next to the building, but I do know it today, and I think it's pretty neat. You know, so that's a little tidbit about the history. And then, of course, right next to it is the Waterville Gas Company, you know, building as well, which no longer is for the gas company, but you know, that's another historic building from this town. All right, so I'm gonna capture an image here. Unfortunately, I don't have a tripod, so I can't set up so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna basically do the same thing I did over at the bridge. I'm gonna, you know, shoot in manual. I'm gonna shoot around f8, you know, and I may take a high-res shot and a standard res shot. I don't think I'll need to do any kind of focus stacking. We're not far enough away from it, but I'll take that image and then put one of those images, if something turns out, I'll put it in right here. Thought I'd walk out here into this new park that's the playground where I used to play as a kid, or usually when it was a school. Just take a look at the river and look at the bridge that's here. That didn't used to be here. It was a different bridge when I was a kid, but a few years ago they tore it down as well and replaced it with this current structure. You know, a lot of trees have grown up here now over the years that weren't here. You know, turn us around here so you can kind of see. Yeah, so these trees and things you see really where, hey, there's a deer over there on the shore of the island. Yeah, look at that. Should have brought my long lens down here. I could have captured a picture of it. Figures. Didn't think to do it. Let's see if we can capture it anyway. Well, I fired off a couple of quick shots. We'll have to see if any of that turned out. If it did, I'll throw one of those in here. Now, Granted, I took that with the 12 to 45 f4. If I had a longer lens, it would have been a much nicer image, you know. But sometimes you're just not ready, you know, and things happen. But you know, continue on with you know, this area. You know, that island used to be farmed. You know, a gentleman here in town had a tractor, and he would go across right by the school, right across that island, get over there and work the fields. Today, obviously, there's nothing other than there's obviously a deer over there. All right. Again, when I was a kid, the river here would freeze. It would get cold enough for the river to freeze. You know, and then in the spring, when the ice would break, you know, it would all start up, you know, the river from here, and it would force everything down. It would come down, and big chunks of it would, you know, go into the bridge. And it was always a big deal when the ice would break. We'd all come out and watch it. You know, it was always pretty neat. And then, of course, the whole area would flood. You know, and then we would watch everything recede, and we just go back to about whatever we did. You know, so it's been a long time since I've been here. Can't even remember the last time I've been down here. You know, I don't know about anybody else, but it kind of brings back a lot of memories. You know, not only from my childhood, but just different days when life was a lot simpler than it is today. You know, yes, it's good to be home. So, anyway, I'm going to end the video here. Just say thanks for coming along. You know, greatly appreciate everybody. You know, everything, all the comments, all the likes. You know, taking the time just to tune in. You know, hopefully you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't. I know we get a lot of new viewers that are not necessarily subscribers. It'd be nice to have you, you know, subscribe. Keep following the journey. Getting ready to head back over to Europe here for a few days. I may capture an image or two there. I really wasn't planning on putting together any kind of a video this time. Just wanted to go and relax a little bit, because I think I need to do some of that. But you know, thanks for coming along, everybody. Appreciate everybody. Till we see you again. Stay safe.